The helicopter crash of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi has fallen like a bomb on the entire world agenda. Was the pilot of the helicopter in which Ibrahim Raisi was found a Mossad agent? The statements of Iranian government officials have created an issue on the agenda all over the world. Is Israel trying to eliminate Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi? The war of shadows between Israel and Iran, which has been going on for years, has reached a very different dimension with the war between Israel and Palestine. As is known, before the outbreak of this war between Israel and Palestine, tensions between Iran and Israel were continuing. Unmanned combat aircraft belonging to the Israeli Air Force frequently carried out air operations against military headquarters belonging to the Iranian Revolutionary Guards within the borders of Iran. A few months before the outbreak of the war between Israel and Palestine, the Israeli army conducted an operation against Iran's unmanned combat aircraft manufacturing factory. After this Israeli operation, the deconfliction between Israel and Iran has grown even more. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi had threatened Israel by stating that they would respond greatly to these Israeli attacks, and that Iran would not remain silent in the face of these attacks. However, the war between Israel and Palestine began before Iran responded to these attacks. This war, which began as a result of airstrikes by Gaza militants on Israel in October, is still ongoing. It is a matter of great curiosity when this war, which has been going on for months, will end. The Israel Defense Forces are intensively continuing their air operations against the territory of Gaza. However, the fact that Gaza militants are hiding in underground tunnels makes the attacks of the Israeli army ineffective. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu wanted to launch a major operation against the territory of Gaza in the first months of the war, but Iran prevented this. Because armed militant groups backed by Iran have launched attacks inside the borders of Israel. Iran, which caused the Israeli army's ground operation in Gaza to be blocked, became the most important country involved in the background of this war. Now, the helicopter of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, who intervened in the war indirectly, has crashed to the ground in an interesting way. The helicopter carrying Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi crashed in eastern Azerbaijan due to high winds, it was announced. Ibrahim Raisi held a meeting with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev just before the accident. Ibrahim Raisi, who inaugurated the Kiz Castle and Hudaferin dams located on the border between Iran and Azerbaijan, made an interesting speech during the opening. Ibrahim Raisi said, "These projects are an indication that Iran and Azerbaijan can realize such very important big projects. Some people decry our coming together and our common achievements, but these are not important to us. What is important is that we have all implemented what is good for our countries, states, and peoples together," he said in a statement. It was thought that Ibrahim chieftain was referring to Israel with this statement. Because the Israeli government is not satisfied with these close relations between Iran and Azerbaijan, it is considered quite interesting that Azerbaijani President Aliyev, who supports Israel in this war between Israel and Palestine, has now arranged a meeting with Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi. It is known to everyone that the relations between Iran and Azerbaijan pose a great threat to Israel. For this reason, all eyes were turned to Israel after the helicopter crash of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi. The questions of whether this helicopter crash was an ordinary accident or an assassination confused everyone's mind. That's when the really interesting thing started. According to information obtained from sources close to Tehran, Iranian government officials claim that this was not an ordinary helicopter accident, but an assassination of Ibrahim Raisi. According to information obtained from regional sources, the pilot of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi's helicopter is alleged to be an Israeli intelligence agent. According to the allegations, the pilot who used Ibrahim Raisi's helicopter during his visit to Azerbaijan was changed. The pilot on the way from Iran to Azerbaijan and the pilot on the way back from Azerbaijan were not the same person. According to information obtained from regional sources, those close to Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi say that the helicopter pilot has been changed, and this pilot is alleged to be a Mossad agent. Iranian Interior Minister Vahidi made it clear that the helicopter carrying Ibrahim Raisi had to make a hard landing and rescue teams had not yet reached the area. Iranian state televisions want to inform about this helicopter crash that Ibrahim Raisi had, but since there is nothing clear yet, All television channels are waiting for an explanation from the official authorities. It is said that Iranian Foreign Minister Abdullahian, East Azerbaijan Provincial Governor Malik Rahmeti, and Tabriz Friday Imam Ayatollah Ali Hashim were also on this helicopter carrying Raisi. We are still hopeful, but the information coming from the crash site is very worrying, Iranian officials said in a statement. In other words, it is not known whether Ibrahim Raisi is still alive or not. Another reason why all eyes were turned to Israel after Ibrahim Raisi's helicopter crashed was the statements made by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. As it is known, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu knows that Iran is indirectly supporting Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu recently announced that despite all obstacles, they will eliminate militants on the territory of Gaza, and even Iran will not be able to prevent this. After this statement by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants launched a new attack on Israel. A red alert has been issued on the Lebanese border as a result of Hezbollah's airstrikes against Israel. The Israel Defense Forces had to deploy a large number of Iron Dome air defense systems to Israel's border with Lebanon, because the Iranian-backed Hezbollah militants are constantly carrying out attacks against Israel. After these attacks, the Israeli army did not respond to Lebanon in any way. For this reason, it is claimed that Israel has responded to Iran through Ibrahim Raisi. The ongoing shadow war between Israel and Iran is much more dangerous than this war between Israel and Palestine. Both countries want to prove to each other who is the biggest power in the Middle East. The air operations organized by the Heron model unmanned combat aircraft of the Israeli Air Force against Iran were increasing every day. In response, Iran was carrying out airstrikes against outposts on the Israeli borders with its own Shahd 136 model unmanned combat aircraft. The Israeli army eventually carried out air operations against the military headquarters of the Iranian army, leading to the death of a general in the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. Israel's move, on the other hand, made Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi very angry. For this reason, Iran is indirectly giving great support to the Gaza militants. At the same time, Iran, which also provides military support to militant groups operating in Syria, is delivering weapons to Hezbollah militants here. However, the Israeli intelligence service Mossad has carried out a major air operation against Syria in recent months because it was aware of this situation. Hezbollah, which uses the military airport in the Syrian city of Damascus as a military ammunition depot, carried out the vast majority of military shipments from here. In other words, cargo planes carrying ammunition and weapons operating from Iran were arriving at this airport in Damascus. Because the Israeli intelligence service Mossad was aware of this, it carried out air operations against the airport in Damascus twice. With the first air operation organized months ago, part of the Damascus airport became unusable. Within weeks, the Syrian government had this airport repaired again. However, the Israeli army targeted this airport again and conducted another operation. This time, the Damascus airport had become completely unusable. In other words, we are not mistaken if we say that the Israeli intelligence service Mossad is monitoring Iranian and Iranian government officials for 24 hours during this war process. The Israeli government is aware that in order to win this war on the territory of Gaza, they must first remove Iran.